My name is Gerald Richman. I graduated in 1958. My name is Gerald Richman. My favorite memories from high school are being basically in the high school band and lieutenant of the band, marching in the Orange Bowl, marching in the various parades, and related to that, being in my high school fraternity and making lifelong friends in Spartans, which was the fraternity we formed when I was in 11th grade. After high school, I started out at Georgia Tech because I was going to go into electrical engineering, found out how much math was involved, quickly switched my major, and then decided it would not be appropriate to be an engineer if I wasn't really good at math. And then I transferred to the University of Florida because my father was building, he had a hotel, and he was, at that time, had a partner who was doing construction, building homes in Hialeah, hundreds of homes. And he thought it would be a good idea for me to go into construction to watch his money because he didn't trust his partner. Instead, at that time, I took the law school aptitude test for the fun of it, completely cold, not ever intending to be a lawyer. I took the aptitude test for graduate study to get an MBA at Harvard or Wharton, and I took the GRE, all three of them. I just walked in cold and took them. And it was free to send the scores to the University of Florida. In Miami, I just wrote down Florida and Miami. I had no intention of being a lawyer. Dean of the University of Florida wrote back and said, based upon my score, I might be eligible for a scholarship. And I ended up getting deferred to go to law school, fully expected to flunk out with a building construction degree. And I ended up starting out by working really hard, first in my class. So I guess I was destined to become a lawyer. I went straight through, graduated in a little over 2 years because I couldn't take time off with my military commitment. So I ended up clerking for Judge Young, the first federal judge ever to serve in Orlando, Florida, after whom, by the way, the federal courthouse is now named in Orlando. At the end of my year there, I went into the Judge Advocate General's Corps. And while I was there, somebody said that they knew somebody in Washington, D.C. And then the next thing I knew, I got a call from the president's military aide at the White House asking me to come in for an interview, and I ended up getting selected to be a White House social aide. I ultimately got a phone call to end up going to either Vietnam or Korea, and I volunteered to go ahead and go to Vietnam. They said, we got good news for you. We're going to send you to Korea. I went to a fundraiser for U.S. Senator Howell Heflin of Alabama. And while there, somebody said, Jerry, somebody like you could win this seat. He didn't mean for me to run, but what he basically said is, if you went ahead and you campaigned in Miami Beach, you could get enough vote in Miami Beach to make a runoff. At that point, I went home, spoke to my wife, and Gwen said, you know, you've always talked about running for public office. Someday, this is your chance you won't win, but it's your chance to find out what it's like and get it out of your system. And I went out and I really campaigned hard. My wife did a wonderful job with this 27-year-old lawyer. We bought up all the bus benches in Miami that we could find. We put the name Richman for Congress on the bus benches with picture of my wife and my children, who were then 3 and 5 years old. And at this point, I had George H.W. Bush, Vice President Dan Quayle, and Congressman Jack Kemp all came down and campaigned against me. The Republican Party pulled out. All of it stopped. So I'd come from basically nowhere to almost winning. And then at 9 o'clock at night, I was ahead by 2,500 votes. And then the computers went down, and we sat there and waited an hour and a half. When it came back on, I was down 2,500 votes. We'll never know why or what happened. I am certain that both sides have their appellate papers ready to go instantly, whichever way the ruling goes. And we are prepared. We will be prepared. We think we're right, and we intend to take it up. If we lose, but we're optimistic that we're going to win.
Are you upset?
Along came the Iraqi-Iranian War in 1979, 1980. I was contacted by Saddam Hussein to supply heavy artillery to Iraq in its war with Iran at that time. And I was basically Sarkis's lawyer. But the fact of the matter is, he was very valuable to supply intelligence information to our government. My thing is find what you really love, because you'll be good at whatever it is if you really put your heart and soul into it and enjoy what you're doing and feel like what you're doing is the right thing. very proud of the fact that I was president of the Florida Bar and made a number of innovations in terms of having non-lawyers serve on the Florida Bar. I'm very proud of my family and very proud of what I did as a lawyer for more than 58 years.